Hello, welcome to OMCPD. Today we're going to be looking at how can we de-escalate conflict when managing behaviour. So we're going to look at situations where there might be a conflict with a student. This is usually over something like low-level disruption. So the scenario we're going to imagine is that Ella at the back of the room has been constantly showing low-level disruption. They're almost at the point where they're going to receive a detention. So I could say, right, Ella, you need to move to the front of the classroom. You're also going to have a detention because you've been disrupting the lesson. Now, that student doesn't really get a choice. They get the detention and they don't get the opportunity to meet your high expectations and behave as you expect. So what you could try is giving the student the element of choice. But it's important to know that with that element of choice, ultimately, it is something that is going to negate the behaviour, or you're going to get the outcome that's going to make sure learning can happen in the classroom. So I could try, Ella, you have the choice. You can either move to the front of the classroom, or your actions will mean that I have to give you a C3. So I've given the student a choice, and 9 times out of 10 the student will take the choice that doesn't result in a detention, and they have the opportunity to carry on with the learning. Now, if the student continues to show disruption, then of course you would issue the C3 and follow your school's behaviour policy. So key takeaways: the best way to solve conflicts with students is to not have them in the first place. So if you ever get into a situation where you think this is going back and forth, I'm having an argument with this student, just take a step back and think about how you can calmly, consistently and fairly deal with that behaviour. Giving students a choice can prevent backing them into a corner. Students are most likely to lash out when they feel that they are backed into a corner, when they feel that they have no choice. So think about how you can use choice ultimately to get what you need or what you expect, but how you can give that student a choice to do the right thing and meet your expectations. And finally, be careful with your phrasing. That can have a massive impact. So for example, you saw with my phrasing to begin with, it was quite negative. The outcome for the student was either get a C3, the outcome for the student was get a C3 and move. Whereas with the second element, where I talked about my phrasing and I talked about how their actions will lead to the C3, the onus is on them to make the right decision, to correct their actions, to meet your high expectations and move to the front of the room to continue learning.